Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Saturday, December 22nd, 2018. Today I'm going to go over last night's NBA, NHL, and college basketball games, college football, bowl games. But today I have to start with a big baseball trade that happened last night. The Los Angeles Dodgers traded Yasiel Puig, Matt Kemp, Alex Wood, and Kyle Farmer to the Cincinnati Reds. Back to the Dodgers is Homer Bailey and prospects Jeter Downs, who is a middle infielder, and right-handed pitcher Josiah Gray. My first reaction when I saw this trade is they know something that we don't. And what is it? That they're getting Bryce Harper. I think this trade all but seals that Bryce Harper will be a Los Angeles Dodger. To me, I would be stunned if he's not a Dodger. If they didn't know that they were getting Bryce Harper, this move is not made. Everybody's saying, oh, it's not just Bryce Harper. You never know. It could be to get Corey Kluber. Those prospects mean they're going to turn around and trade for Corey Kluber or JT Realmuto. Yeah, that's the case for the prospect thing. Those people are right, but to me, what matters the most is that they cleared 2 outfielder spots, and one of them is going to be for the best free agent in Major League Baseball history, and that's Bryce Harper. If not the best in baseball history, the best free agent since Alex Rodriguez in 2000. And him in Los Angeles would be amazing to see on that team with Cody Bellinger, and once he comes back from Tommy John surgery, Corey Seager, Justin Turner. That would become the overwhelming favorite, in my opinion, to win the 2019 World Series, too. Especially if they add a Corey Kluber, JT Realmuto to that team, along with Harper. And the other baseball trade that happened was a minor one. Domingo Santana was traded to the Seattle Mariners for outfielder Ben Gamel and minor league pitcher Noah Zavalos. A lot of people thought that Gamel was going to be traded once he was reacquired from the Tampa Bay Rays to the Mariners, and here we are. He's shipped to Milwaukee. I'm curious to see how they would use him. Would they use him as a 4th outfielder? Are they dying to get rid of Ryan Braun? You have Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Cain in that outfield. And then either Gamel or Braun in that last spot. But like how the Dodgers have been dying to get rid of Puig and Kemp this whole time, part of me thinks that the Brewers have been dying to get rid of Ryan Braun. And maybe, you never know. But I think it's a good trade from both sides, especially even Seattle, because Seattle's rebuilding and you want young assets on that team, but knowing the Mariners, they're probably going to trade Domingo Santana in February or at the trade deadline in July. But yeah, the Puig and Kemp trade to Cincinnati all but pretty much seals that Bryce Harper's going to Los Angeles. This reminds me of one of those NBA trades in which an NBA team would trade a role player to a bad team or another team just to clear cap room, and then that the NBA team would turn around and sign a free agent that they really, really wanted. I believe the Rockets did this with Dwight Howard, that they traded somebody away. And then a lot of people were speculating, they're getting Dwight Howard, and then they got him. And then another good example of this was even the Lakers with LeBron James, except they traded away those 2 young players at the deadline last year. They might have known something last year. And that's another person I'm going to give credit to, by the way, if the Dodgers land Bryce Harper, and that's LeBron James. Because LA is the city of stars. Magic gets LeBron, and he gets Bryce Harper. And the most powerful person in sports is LeBron James. And speaking of LeBron James, him and Anthony Davis went out to dinner last night after the Lakers-Pelicans game. What does that tell you? That Anthony Davis is going to be a Laker by this time next year? Probably. They don't think they're getting Kevin Durant. Maybe they know he's going to the Knicks, and they're going to try for the next big star that's going to be available, and that's Anthony Davis. And then he'll be on that team. Another star player that I think could very well be a Lakers, Klay Thompson. His father's in that organization, and Klay's a free agent after the season, and that would be an amazing fit on the Lakers. And the Lakers can trot out a starting five featuring LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and Lonzo Ball. That would just be phenomenal, and all you would have to do is keep like a Brandon Ingram or a Kyle Kuzma to round out that starting five. Ingram would be the logical person to keep because he is a wing and Kyle Kuzma is a power forward. Then maybe you trade Kuzma and Josh Hart in a possible Anthony Davis deal along with a couple future first-round picks. But future of NBA and Major League Baseball, once Bryce Harper signs, we'll get into all that once everything happens. I'm going to start with college football, the two bowl games from yesterday, and then I'll pick the 4 bowl games that are being played for today. FIU defeats Toledo 35-32. FIU had this game put away, and then Toledo scored a garbage touchdown to make the score look close. Anthony Jones, an incredible comeback story. And he rushed for 3 touchdowns in the game. He was my player of the game in this game. He was just a great performance by him. And the quarterback, Christian Alexander, made some big plays in that game too. BYU blows out Western Michigan 49-18. This game was a 10-7 lead for Western Michigan at halftime. Then BYU just took over. Zach Wilson was excellent and set a BYU record with the perfect game. Today's bowl games at 12 o'clock on ESPN, you have Memphis against Wake Forest. It is the Birmingham Bowl taking place in Alabama. The Tigers had many ups and downs throughout their season, and the same could be said for the Demon Deacons. This has the making of a high-scoring affair, and I think the Tigers get the win here. So the pick is Memphis. I will also take them to cover the 3.5 on the point spread. 8-5 on the year, 5-3 in conference play. Wake is 6-6 on the year, 3-5 in conference play. It's actually down to 3. So give me Memphis -3 here. Next up is Houston against Army in the Armed Forces Bowl, 3:30 on ESPN. Houston 8-4 on the year, 5-3 in conference play. Army 10-2 on the year. The Cougars come into this game not having Ed Oliver or De'Ara King. The Knights have had a phenomenal season in which they were ranked in the AP and coaches polls. With the Cougars 2 stars out for this game, I like the Knights to win this game to cap off their season. So give me Army here. They're laying 6.5. The over-under is 59.5. Give me the under. I like the under here better. Because Army plays good defense and Houston is missing De'Ara King. And Army's offense is not very good. So the under is an easy play here. 7 o'clock on ESPN is the Dollar General Bowl. You have Buffalo against Troy. Buffalo 10-3 on the year, 7-1 in conference play. Troy 9-3 on the year and 7-1 in conference play. The Bulls have had a phenomenal year but lost in the MAC championship game against an inferior Northern Illinois team. The Trojans have had a solid year as well, although they did not make their conference championship game. The Bulls have a stud wideout in Anthony Johnson. I expect him to have a monster game to give the Bulls the bowl win. So give me Buffalo. They're laying 1. I'll cover the 1. And last but not least, 10:30 on ESPN. You have the Hawaii Bowl featuring Hawaii and Louisiana Tech. Hawaii 8-5 on the year, 5-3 in conference play. Louisiana Tech 7-5 on the year and 5-3 in conference play. The Rainbow Warriors are a team that overachieved this season and get their bowl game in their home stadium. The Bulldogs are a team that, to me, have underachieved a little bit this year. To me, I think they probably should have been an 8 or 9 win team rather than a 7 win team. Skip Holtz as an underdog is awesome, and I don't love how this Rainbow Warriors team finished their season. So give me the Bulldogs to get the win. So Louisiana Tech's the pick. They're laying a 1.5. Give me that 1.5. Now I'm going to do college hoops. Just going to go through the scores because I'm short on time. Bryant defeats Dartmouth 68-67. Northeastern defeats St. Bonaventure 64-59. Binghamton defeats LIU Brooklyn 68-67. Liberty defeats Alabama State 73-55. Chattanooga defeats Bryan 79-45. Oklahoma State defeats Central Arkansas 82-73. UMBC defeats Hood 86-65. Bowling Green defeats Western Carolina 73-52. UNC Asheville defeats Milligan 86-76. Austin Peay defeats Campbell 88-75. Kent State upsets Oregon State 66-63. UMass defeats Fairleigh Dickinson 85-84. Towson defeats Tulane 73-55. Eastern Washington defeats Corbin 92-73. Morehead State defeats Indiana Purdue 74-70. Radford defeats Georgia Southern 80-68. Butler defeats UC Irvine 71-54. Number 10 Michigan State defeats Oakland 99-69. Louisville defeats Robert Morris 73-59. Xavier defeats Detroit Mercy 69-55. Baylor defeats Oregon 57-47. Iowa State defeats Eastern Illinois 101-53. Charleston defeats Coastal Carolina 73-71. Mercer defeats UNC Wilmington 77-73. UCF defeats Illinois State 77-56. South Florida defeats Alcorn State 83-44. George Mason defeats Navy 84-63. UMass Lowell defeats Loyola Maryland 97-79. VMI defeats North Alabama 89-68. Longwood defeats Stetson 77-63. Bethune-Cookman defeats Boston University 74-66. East Tennessee State defeats Wyoming 76-53. Princeton defeats Lafayette 81-79. LaSalle defeats Alabama A&M 80-57. Finally, LaSalle gets a win. Charleston Southern defeats Johnson Wales, North Carolina 86-61. Stephen F. Austin defeats Arlington Baptist 97-47. Abilene Christian defeats Southeast Missouri State 70-68. Minnesota defeats North Carolina A&T 86-67. Ole Miss defeats Middle Tennessee 74-56. LSU defeats number 24 Furman 75-57. Portland defeats Florida A&M 54-39. Louisiana Monroe defeats Coppin State 80-63. Omaha defeats Rice 83-66. Southern Miss defeats South Dakota 66-60. Lamar defeats Howard Payne 121-32. Indiana Chicago defeats St. Francis Illinois 76-55. Troy defeats UAB 74-73. Lipscomb defeats Vermont 91-66. Number 20 Marquette defeats number 14 Buffalo 103-85. Oklahoma defeats Northwestern 76-69 in overtime. Alabama defeats Penn State 73-64. Providence defeats Texas 71-65. Number 8 Gonzaga defeats Denver 101-40. Utah defeats Northern Arizona 76-62. Washington defeats Sacramento State 57-41. Norfolk State defeats UTEP 75-62. Santa Clara defeats Idaho 77-56. Texas Arlington defeats Cal Poly 75-70 in overtime. Cal defeats San Jose State 88-80. And USC defeats Southern Utah 91-49. Big slate today in college hoops. 12 o'clock, Wisconsin hosts Grambling. I should say number 16, Wisconsin. Number 3, Tennessee hosts Wake Forest. SC Upstate at NC State. Georgia at Georgia Tech. Little Rock at Georgetown. Jacksonville State at West Virginia. Central Penn at Davidson. Siena Holy Cross, Maryland Eastern American. St. Francis, Pennsylvania at Lehigh. 12:30 CVS, UConn Villanova. Give me Villanova there on their home floor. Savannah State at number 23 Iowa. Columbia at Rutgers is 1 o'clock, as well as the Savannah State Iowa game. Rosemont Hofstra, Temple Drexel. Brown Marist, Niagara Army, Fairfield, New Hampshire, Central Connecticut State, Maine, Jackson State, Central Michigan. 2 o'clock Big Ten Network, Cal State Fullerton at number 25 Nebraska. Clemson, South Carolina. William & Mary at number 5 Virginia. Arkansas State, Syracuse. FAU, Miami. Texas State, Arkansas. Marshall, Texas A&M. Cal State, Northridge. SIU, Edwardsville. Presbyterian, Dayton. East Tennessee, Duquesne. Stony Brook, Quinnipiac. Iona, Yale. Chicago State, Northern Illinois. George Washington, Harvard. Hartford, Wagner. Morgan State, Old Dominion. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Missouri State. North Dakota, Northern Iowa. Siena Heights, Eastern Michigan. Southeast Louisiana, Bradley. South Carolina State, Cincinnati. High Point, Richmond at 2:30. 2:30 FS2, St. Louis against number 11 Florida State. 3 o'clock CBS UCLA at number 15 Ohio State. CBS Sports Classic. Ohio State's the better team. Give me them to win. Pacific, Boise State. St. Mary's, Western Kentucky. Tennessee State, Memphis. Elon, UMKC. Indiana, Colorado. Milwaukee, Western Michigan. UNC, Greensboro, Sanford. Mobile, Nichols. 3:30 Fox Sports 1, Boston College, DePaul. 4 o'clock Big Ten Network, Air Force at number 4 Michigan. Wichita State, VCU. Sam Houston State, Utah Valley. Delaware State, Weber State. Penn, New Mexico. Winthrop, Southern Illinois. St. Mary's, Maryland, and Mount St. Mary's. 4:30 SEC Network, Murray State at number 7 Auburn. Northern Colorado and Rider. 5 o'clock Pac-12 Network, Stanford, San Francisco. Florida Gulf Coast and Florida. Loyola Chicago and St. Joe's on CBS Sports Network. Idaho State and UC Santa Barbara. UNLV in Hawaii. Colorado State, Long Beach State. Loyola Marymount, UC Riverside. A&M Corpus Christi, Louisiana Tech. Green Bay, Evansville. Hampton and Howard. 5:15 CBS. Number 19 Kentucky against number 9 North Carolina. I think both of these teams have been sort of underwhelming this year, except Carolina has a big win on its resume against Gonzaga that Kentucky doesn't. Carolina's the better team, led by freshmen Kobe White, Nasir Little, and veterans Cam Johnson and Luke May. So give me Carolina, and I think Kentucky shows up and makes this a game. I'm going to say Carolina wins by 6. 5:30 Fox Sports 1, Seton Hall in Maryland. 6 o'clock Big Ten Network, Jacksonville at number 22 Indiana. 7 o'clock ESPN2, Vanderbilt and Kansas State. Wright State at number 17 Mississippi State. BYU San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. Akron at number 6 Nevada. Pac-12 Network, UC Davis, Arizona. Tennessee Martin, Fresno State. Wyoming, UTEP. 7:30 Fox Sports 2, New Mexico State against Drake. 8 o'clock Big Ten Network, Illinois and Missouri. 8 o'clock Fox Sports 1, Sacred Heart, St. John's. Tulsa, Oral Roberts. Cornell, SMU. McNeese and Rio Grande Valley. Montana at South Dakota State. 9 o'clock ESPN2, number 1 Kansas at number 18 Arizona State. I think this is where Kansas finally is handed their first loss. Kansas has been the most vulnerable one team I've ever seen. So Arizona State gets the home win. As John Rothstein would say, Bobby freaking Hurley. Mississippi Valley State, Grand Canyon. Norfolk State, East Tennessee State. 10 o'clock, Rhode Island and Bucknell. That's the Diamond Head. And then the Vegas Classic on Fox Sports 1. San Diego State, Washington State. And then Diamond Herd on ESPN3, Charlotte against TCU. Now I'm going to get to the NBA. Again, I'm just going to do scores. The Hornets defeat the Pistons 98-86. Raptors defeat the Cavaliers 126-110. The Pacers defeat the Nets 114-106, so the Nets winning streak ends at 7. The Hawks defeat the Knicks 114-107. The Bucks defeat the Celtics 120-107. The Bulls upset the Magic 90-80. The Spurs defeat the Timberwolves 124-98. The Jazz defeat the Blazers 120-90. The Kings come back and defeat the Grizzlies 102-99. And the Lakers defeat the Pelicans 112-104. Tonight's slate at 5 o'clock, you have the Nuggets at the Clippers. 7 o'clock, the Suns at the Wizards. NBA TV, the Raptors at the 76ers. 8 o'clock, the Bucks at the Heat. The Spurs at the Rockets. 8:30, the Mavericks at the Warriors. And 9 o'clock, the Thunder at the Jazz. NHL from yesterday. Only 3 games. The Devils defeat the Senators 5-2. The Capitals defeat the Sabres 2-1. And the Blackhawks upset the Avalanche 2-1. And that's the game that killed my best bet. Big hockey slate today. Just going to quickly breeze through the games. 1 o'clock, Predators Bruins. Blue Jackets Flyers. 2 o'clock, Panthers Red Wings. 4 o'clock Blues Flames, Canadians Golden Knights, NBCSN Kings Sharks. The Kings look like a team that's tanking, so give me the Sharks at home. 7 o'clock the Ducks at the Sabres, the Rangers at the Maple Leafs, the Capitals at the Senators, the Penguins at the Hurricanes, the Avalanche at the Coyotes, 8 o'clock the Stars at the Wild, 10 o'clock the Lightning at the Oilers, and the Jets at the Canucks. Now I'm going to do my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Give me the Titans at home over the Redskins. I just think that the Titans are going to destroy them by double digits. Josh Jackson's not the answer. He had a couple nice games, but that Tennessee defense is playing very well, and we'll figure out how to stop him. And the Redskins are not stopping Derrick Henry. And by the way, for a second game, to me the key thing is, will the Chargers avoid a letdown after a big win in Kansas City? I avoided them on my best bet because I'm not so confident that they're going to win the game, although I do think they will. The Warriors over the Mavericks, I just think the Warriors at home are tough to pick against. They did lose at home to Toronto, shorthanded, but the Warriors have their key players back. I just don't trust the Mavericks in Oracle Arena. That's what it comes down to. As much as I enjoy watching Luka Doncic, I do think that game's close until midway through the third, and then Golden State pulls away and wins by double digits. And then all college basketball the rest of the way. Georgetown, American, Missouri State, Miami, Harvard, Dayton, Bradley, Memphis, Auburn, Florida, Louisiana Tech. Plus 177, wagering $2.75 to win $4.89 with a payout of $7.64. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from college basketball, college football, NBA, NHL. Look ahead to tomorrow's NFL games and go over anything else that happens in the world of sports. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.